Don't worry about it. So I think you might have downloaded that .exe file which I shared on my Google Classroom and might have installed it. Okay, so if you install it, you might have seen such type of shortcut key generated by that software on your desktop. Okay, so just double click on it, that Proteus simulation software will start to run, and you will look such type of window. Okay, you can scroll it, you can enlarge it like this. Now remember, whatever components as per your circuit diagram you will going on to place over here, you have to take the care, don't place that component beyond the given box by this blue colored rectangular shape. So remember, whatever component you will place, it should be within this box only. Okay, so that there will not be error whenever you will going on to run it. Now first of all, we'll see here one window is available, that is pick devices from the library. It is just like whenever we are coming in our lab, you are picking some components, whatever you required as per the circuit diagram given to you by your teachers. So just click on that pick. You will get a separate window as a library, and which component you required, that you have to write it over here in the keyword. Is it visible to all? My screen is visible, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can you able to see this one as a keyword, this word? I think that recording option is there, na? Recording option is coming, but it is just somewhat above it. Just few seconds. If it is possible to drag it, I will try. No, it do not get. Okay. So see, first of all, we'll see about the register. So just type register over here. You will observe in the category that registers. Okay, so just single click on it, registers. Now just below it, you will observe the subcategory like the wattage of that registers. We already discussed during our previous lecture about the wattage and its importance, so no need to again repeat it. So first register in that subcategory I highlighted over here, it is of 0.6 watt metal film. Then you will observe such type of various registers like 10 watt, 2 watt, 3 watt, 7 watt, etc. Then chip register, that is nothing but our SMD components. Okay, so for understanding purpose, here I will select the 0.6 watt metal film. Okay, now whenever you will select that 0.6 metal film, 0.6 watt metal film, in the library you will observe so many registers. Is it? So see, first one that I highlighted in that library, it is written as 100 kilo ohm and 0.6 watt register. Right? The second one, again it is written as 100R. That 100R, R stands for just ohm. That symbol you will not going on to observe in this library. So remember that capital R is written, that is nothing but simply the ohm. Okay. So what is the difference between first and second register? That first one, it is of 100K, that means 100 kilo ohm, and second one is of only 100 ohms, right? So like that, you can check so many registers are available. Now, one thing I have to highlight over here, see here it is written as 1K1. So remember that 1K1, it stands for, it is of 1.1 kilo ohm. It will not be written as 1.1K in this library. Generally, we are saying the resistor is of 1.1 kilo ohm, but in the library it is written as 1K1. Remember, if you have notebook, pen, just write down it that 1K1 stands for it is of 1.1 kilo ohm. Similarly, you will observe another one that is 1K2, that means 1.2K, 1.3K, 1.5K, etc. Is it? So you can identify, you can find out your required value of resistor and you can select it, right, for your application. For example, suppose I required 100 kilo ohm resistor uh, as per the given in my circuit. So what you will do, just select that 100K and double click on it. Whenever you will double click on it, you will observe that the register is selected in this tray, which I will going on to use later on as per my application. Whenever I will going on to close this library. Okay. One more thing again, which is important. Suppose 100K register in your circuit requires multiple times. That means if it is, for example, your op-amp based circuit inverting. Okay, if it is your op-amp based circuit and for example like inverting or non-inverting amplifier, and if you are using with the for a non-inverting amplifier with unity gain, that means RF and R1 should be same, right now? Because for non-inverting amplifier, what you learn during your first year or through your first year syllabus, the gain of that inverting amplifier, it is simply RF by R1 in terms of magnitude. Actually, it is minus RF by R1. That negative sign, it indicates there is a phase shift of 180 degree. Okay. So here you will require for a, or as a unity gain amplifier, you will require that RF and R1 of same value. Is it? So suppose I selected that RF as 100K and I will require again R1 as 100K. So remember, no need to select that 100K twice, or even if you try it, that software will not going on to allow it. So it indicates what? Whatever register already you selected, you can place it multiple times in your circuit. Okay. Then next one, the example we'll take as a capacitor. Just write capacitor in that keywords. You will select in all categories as a capacitors, and in subcategories so many types of capacitors are there, like animated, audio grade, axial lead, then ceramic capacitor, decoupling capacitors, etc. Okay. Here also I will show you one example. Suppose ceramic disc is there. Now it is written as 100P. P stands for picofarad. Okay. Then 10N, that N stands for it is of nanofarad. Here it is written, see in description, it is already given 100 pico ceramic capacitor, then 10 nano ceramic capacitor, etc. Same method of resistor, you will observe here one more capacitor, it is written as 1N phi. So what is mean by that 1N phi? It is nothing but 1.5 nanofarad. Okay, are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 1N phi is it stands for what? It is of 1.5 nanofarad, right? One more thing I would like to highlight over here. Whenever you will select any one capacitor from this ceramic disc subcategory, you will observe the symbol will get generated towards the right side. See that right side corner over here. You will observe simply two vertical plates are there and plus minus is not shown. That means what? Ceramic capacitor, it is non-electrolytic. You might have learned during your again first year syllabus. Basically, there are two types of capacitors, electrolytic and non-electrolytic. Is it? So the ceramic type of capacitor, it is basically from non-electrolytic type. And in subcategory, if you have selected, for example, just I have to scroll it over here. If you have selected radial electrolytic in subcategory. So again, in that subcategory, so many capacitors are available. You can observe it in that library. Again, see here, it is written as 100N and 63V. It is a electrolytic type capacitor, and that's why for this capacitor, both type of ratings will be given by the manufacturer. That is nothing but its capacitance as well as its voltage handling capacity. So this first one highlighted over here, it is of 100 nano and 63 volts. Both ratings are very important whenever you will study the design, electronic design part. At that time, again, I will going on to highlight its importance. That means how that capacitance as well as its voltage handling capacity is important in our electronics. One more capacitor I would like to highlight over here. It is written as 100U6V3. That means it is of 100 microfarad. That micro, it is written as U in this library, remember. So that U stands for, it is micro. It looks like somewhat the symbol of that micro. That's why U is preferred. So 100 micro, and its voltage rating is written as 6V3. So that 6V3 stands for, it is of 6.3 volts. So the highlighted capacitor, that is 100U and 6V3, it is nothing but this capacitor is 100 microfarad and 6.3 voltage rating. Is it clear? Now remember, this software you can use for your digital practicals also. I don't know your digital circuit teacher which software will be going to prefer, but you can use this software for your digital electronics also. So many ICs you can find out in this library. You will get it, and according to your given circuit diagram, you can implement and test the results. One more point remaining regarding to this capacitor that I would like to highlight. See, as electrolytic capacitors have the polarity that you learn, you will observe its symbol towards this, again, right hand side window. One plate, it is with cross lines. That cross lines are nothing but it is a negative plate. And it is also very important while using electrolytic capacitors in our electronic circuits by considering their polarities. If you have connected this electrolytic capacitor in opposite direction, then it may get burst, and that you might have observed also during your first year practicals. So it gets burst if the connected capacitor is with opposite polarity. Okay, so in this way you can find out so many components. The component again which you studied, that is diode, right? So diodes, so many diodes will be available, like generic diode, then rectifier diodes. Diode as a rectifier, you might have preferred 1N4007, that is silicon rectifier diode, right? Now see here I highlighted it. So remember, whatever component you will going on to select from the library, will going on to highlight, its symbol will get generated over here. So this is the symbol for your diode, that is we can say the general purpose diode, that is 1N4007, right? So in this way you can observe so many components which are available in the library of this simulation software. Okay, now I would like to show how to use it and how to check the results of this software. Okay, so first of all I will just stop this sharing of my this window, and will try to show you the blackboard which I will go. Okay, so see, as per the first circuit diagram which we already discussed during our previous lectures, here when LED is used, suppose it is of 5 mm LED which can be operated from 10 milliamperes to 80 milliamp. Already I told it, right? If 10 volt is applied as a DC source and 1 kilo ohm resistor is preferred, here you can easily find out how much will be the I of LED. That means LED current. is it? So before going to the actual test by using our simulation software, I will suggest just try to find out theoretically on your uh, paper. So just apply KVL. So that KVL stands for VCC equals to I into R, that is voltage drop across that connected series resistance of 1K plus voltage drop across LED. Okay. So VCC, we will going to prefer it as a 10 volts equals to, we don't know how much is I, but already we selected that resistor of 1 kilo ohm plus consider the voltage drop across that LED as 2.2 volts. Okay. So find out the value of I, which is equals to 10 minus 2.2, that is 7.8 divided by 1 kilo ohm. Am I right? I equals to, it will be 7.8 divided by 1K, so that it will be equals to 7.8 milliamperes. Yes or no? Is it okay? The value of that LED current, it will be of 7.8 milliamps. That we will be able to check by using our simulation software. So before going to that actual implementation, just try to find out, is it okay or not? Again, open that simulation software, and as per the shown first circuit diagram, that is LED, what I will do, I will just, first of all, will pick that devices, whatever I require. So the first device I require, that is LED. So simply I will just going to write it in that keyword as a LED. Then in optoelectronics, you will observe so many LEDs over here, right? So I will select first one, suppose this active animated LED model, that is red. Okay, so just double click on it, that red LED will get selected. Now already that register of 100K I selected, so I can change its properties. That means I can make it as 1 kilo ohm as well as another values, right? So first of all, select that register 100K and rotate it, because as per our circuit diagram, we required it as a vertical. Whenever you will be want to select, it looks like a horizontal over here, is it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So select that register 100K and rotate it like this. Once it will be vertical, you can place in this given window like this, and you can scroll down. You can observe it. See, the place register is of 100K. Now I can change its value. Just right click on that register and edit properties. Second option is there. So whenever you will select that edit properties, only you have to change the resistance. By default, as shown over there, it was of 100K. Now select it, just change it to 1K and simply say OK. Now that resistor become 1 kilo ohm resistor, right? Then LED, again rotate it, its anode, it should be towards the VCC side as per the circuit diagram. So I will rotate it and we'll be going to place in series just below that place resistor like this. So see, you can observe that LED, its anode terminal is towards the VCC side and cathode terminal I kept towards the ground side, is it? Now remember one thing which is very important, don't place that LED directly like this. Actually that software initially will not going to allow you, but it looks like a connected to that 1K as per our circuit diagram. But remember that connection is not done over here between these two devices. So what care you have to take, simply place that LED with somewhat distance like this. And whatever connection you have to do, just keep that cursor with the terminals which you required to connect and drag it towards the another and just say, or just click it. You will observe a wire will get placed between that two terminals, which is shown here as a green colored wire. Is it? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you will observe there is a green color wire which is placed in between that resistor and LED. Okay. Now another devices or component, that is DC source. We required here 10 volt DC source. So you will get that DC source through this window here. It is mentioned as a generic mode. Okay. Are you observing it? Generic mode option is there. When you will click on it, again you will have a number of options like a DC source, sine wave, pulse waveform, exponential waveform, like this. So many are there. So the first one, that is a DC voltage source which we require. So select that DC source and place it over here. Again, don't place that DC source directly like this. That software also will not going to allow you. So simply keep it with some distance and later on connect these two terminals by wire. Right? Now, again right click on that DC source and edit its properties. By default, that DC source is available with 0 volts. How much we required? We required it as a 10 volts. So write its voltage as a 10 volt. By default, that height property is activated. So remove it so that we can observe in our circuit how much voltage we are applying. So by default, it will be activated. So just deactivate this height properties and say OK. So here you will observe this is a DC source having its voltage as a 10 volt, that is value as 10. Right? Now what is remaining? Remaining one is ground sign. Or we have to connect that LED, another terminal, to the ground. Again you will get it from this virtual terminals, terminal mode. Okay. When you will select this terminal mode, you will have various options: default, input, output, etc., etc. So out of that, you have to select this second last, that is ground, and place it again with some distance from the LED terminal, and again join it by using a wire, so that ground will get connected to this LED. Okay. Now first of all, just save this design. So what you will do, file, save design. You can give any name. Here I will give it as a demo, and we'll go on to save it on desktop. Okay. Now once your implementation will be completed, now towards left side bottom you will observe various buttons. First one is for play option, then second one is for step option, then pause, then stop, etc. So just say here play. Whenever you will go on to play it, you will observe something. See, whenever it will be in stop mode, that LED is not glowing, is it? But whenever you will go on to play it, you will observe it is emitting the light. Right? Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what we have to do, whatever calculation we done, we know as per our calculation current flowing through this LED is of how much? 7.8 milliamperes, is it? So what you will do, just break this terminal and try to place one current meter, because current meter it should be in series for the measurement of current. Okay. That current meter you will get from the virtual instrument mode. See here again towards LHS side, I highlighted it as a virtual instruments mode. Whenever you will click on it, number of instruments you will get as oscilloscope, logic analyzer, counter, DC voltmeter, DC ammeter, AC voltmeter, AC ammeter. Now here for the measurement of that LED current will require DC ammeter, because current flowing is DC in nature as we are using a DC voltage source, is it? So DC ammeter, you can rotate it or you can place it as it is also. I will just rotate it like this. There will be again positive negative terminal. Positive it should be towards the source side and negative it should be towards the ground going side. Okay. Now by default this current meter it shows as a, or its range in amperes, but we know the current flowing is only few milliamperes. So again you can change its properties as right click on it and edit properties. You will observe display range. First one by default it is in amperes. Whenever you will select, you will observe second one in milliamp, third one is microamp. So here I will select milliampere and will say just OK. Now my that ampere current meter will going on to work as a milliampere current meter. Is it? And again run it. So you will observe how much is the current flowing. It is of 7.78 milliamperes. Is it visible to all?
Yes, sir.
See, that current flowing, it is of 7.78 milliamperes. That means, as per our calculation, it is nothing but how much? 7.8. Is it? Again, stop the running. Now we will go on to check the voltage drop across this LED. While calculation, we taken it as 2.2 volts. In actual practice, how much it is that we will observe. Again, from that virtual instrument mode, DC voltmeter is available. If you want, you can rotate it. I will rotate it like this, and we'll go on to place across this LED like this. So that voltmeter, it is connected across the LED to measure the voltage drop across it. Is it? And again run it. So you will observe that voltage drop is 2.22 volts. So whatever considerations we taken, as well as whatever calculation we done, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what I will do while studying the registers and its application, we know if we change the value of this resistor R1, for example, instead of 1K, if I selected it as a 500 ohms, how I can write it as a 500 ohm? Already I told in library that ohm is replaced by capital R only, is it? So instead of 1K, I will go on to use this resistor of 500 ohm and again save that design and run it. Now see, you will observe the light intensity of the LED is also somewhat more as compared to previous, as well as the current flowing through the LED also gets increased because resistance we change it. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the voltage drop, it is almost, it remains 2.2 volts. It gets slightly increased, but no need to worry about it. So you can take the voltage drop across that 5 mm LED as a 2.2 volts and you can find out the value of this resistor which you required to allow the your desired amount of current through this LED to have the sufficient light intensity. Correct? Any doubt? Now I will go on to take the another example which you studied again during your first year, that is bridge rectifier. Correct now? So which component you will require now? For bridge rectifier you will require diodes. D-I-O-D-E, diode. Okay. In that diode, rectifier diode, or simply you can give the number also 1N4007 if you know the number of that particular device which you have to use. So this first one 1N4007 diode I will go on to select. Okay, that will be available over here. Now another one, what we require the transformer, step down transformer. Correct now? So whenever you will write transformer, various transformers are available here. First one, see 1P 2S, it is written. That means this transformer is of single primary and dual secondary or two secondaries. Then two primary, two secondary, etc. Okay. Or not two primary, it is of two terminal primary and two terminal secondary. Another you might have seen, that is center tap transformer. It looks like this, is it? See, the symbol gets generated towards the right hand side. So 2P3S, that means what? Two terminal primary and three terminal secondary. Three terminal secondary means it is a step down transformer, which we required in Fourier rectifier using two diodes. But in bridge rectifier, we required only simple transformer. Then in that case, we can keep any one terminal of that transformer, center tap transformer, as open. So here I will prefer this simple transformer, that is 2P2S. Select it and I will go on to close. Now that library, my component selection is already done. So what I will do, first of all, select that transformer and place it as already I told. LHS side, this is a primary, and RHS side, this is secondary. Now remember one more thing, whenever you will select and place this transformer, by default, its turns ratio is 1:1. 1:1 turns ratio means what? Whatever voltage you will be going to apply across the primary, same will be going to appear across the secondary side. But in our this application, we required somewhat step down voltage, and that's why what I will do over here, I will be going to change its properties, and you will observe. Array, just a minute. Just a minute. So see, you will observe one property of that transformer as a coupling factor. So it is by default one that you have to change. If you require a step down transformer, then I will just manage it. Simply suppose 0.01. We'll say okay. How it will be going to affect that also I will be going to show you. Am I audible now? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we have to apply the input. Where we are connecting our regular transformer, we are connecting it to 230 volt mains, is it? So that 230 volt mains, it is not available in this library directly. So what you have to do? Just again, uh, in that peak components, keywords and alternator. Just write here alternator. You might have studied this device in electrical. Alternator is nothing but it is a AC source. See, animated AC voltage source. Okay, so select it and again close that library. Alternator is selected and connect it towards the primary side. Again, by default, its value will be very small. Its amplitude is only 6 volt. So what I will do, I will change that amplitude. Don't write 230 because that 230 it is a RMS value, and over here for alternator, what is the requirement? That is peak voltage. So if you calculated that RMS or converted RMS value 230 volt into its peak, then it will be of 325 almost. So I will write here 325 volts, and by default the frequency for that alternator was 1 hertz. But for our mains, how much is the frequency? It is 50 hertz, is it? So I will write here 50 hertz and we'll say okay. Now you can check whenever you will be going to run, you can check how much voltage, RMS voltage you are applying just by connecting AC voltmeter. See, again that virtual instrument mode, you can select the AC voltmeter, just place it across this alternator which I connected across the primary of this transformer like this, and if you run it, you will observe it is almost closer to, it is exactly 230 volts. Is it there? Can you observe? See, while editing the properties of this alternator, the value I given was 325. Okay, but whenever you will want to measure it by using AC voltmeter, that AC voltmeter reads it in terms of RMS, and that's why it looks like a 230 volt RMS. Is it clear? Now stop it. Now once you will set the property of this alternator, no need to keep that voltmeter over there. Now we'll measure the voltage available across the secondary of the transformer. I think our time is also over. So see, it is now 2.29. Is it visible to all? Why it is 2.3? See, we already changed the coupling factor. If I kept that coupling factor as 1 by default, then you will observe across secondary, the voltage will be 230 volts. It will remain as it is because of that coupling factor as 1:1 or turns ratio as 1:1. So we have to change it. Suppose I required that secondary voltage as a 12 volts, so I will try to manage it as 0.12 if that coupling factor is there, and just check it. Still it is somewhat more. Again, stop the simulation and edit the properties. Suppose it is 0.015. We'll check how much it comes. Now it is very small. Okay, so just simply playing with this coupling factor, you can manage that secondary voltage, right? It is 0. 0.055, suppose. We see how much voltage will appear. Now it is 12.6, almost our requirement right now. So see how much was the primary voltage. It was 230 volt RMS, our main supply. By using this step down transformer, we obtain it almost as a 12 volt, right? Now we will going on to use our rectifier circuit. So I think we should continue with the next lecture, okay? Because your third lecture will be there immediately, and you have to join